Take you live next to the U.S. Capitol. Next week, Americans will get their say about how they think the Joe Biden administration is doing. Tuesday's midterm elections will decide if Democrats will keep control of Congress. Magda Gabrisalasa joins us now live from Washington. Magda, the midterms will determine what the final 2 years of Biden's term will look like. Only days to the vote. And he's raising the stakes with a speech last night, telling voters that the future of American democracy is on the ballot. Take us through that.
Yeah, this is actually a message that we have heard from the president before. Just in September, he was making a similar point in Philadelphia. And again, last night, we heard him say that really former President Donald Trump was to blame by not accepting the results of the election, by claiming that the election was stolen. And he talked about how that led to the January 6th attack and how the cracks have continued to spread, how conspiracy theories continue to spread online, and how there have been attacks online and in person. We heard him talk about voter intimidation and political violence, and he really started off this speech by talking about the attack on House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's husband last week. And this is, of course, about the man, David DePape, that police say broke into their home and attacked Paul Pelosi with a hammer. We've heard from police that that attack was politically motivated based on what they say are comments made by the accused and his history. So Biden was talking about that, but then again, he brought it back to the midterms and really talked about the fears around the people that are running in this election, some of the people running in this election. It's specifically talking about the election deniers. Take a listen to what he said.
It's estimated that there are more than 300 election deniers on the ballot all across America this year. We can't ignore the impact this is having on our country. It's damaging, it's corrosive, and it's destructive. And I want to be very clear. This is not about me. It's about all of us.
So he's choosing to focus on this threat to democracy. But really right now, the question is that really the message that's going to resonate with voters? We do know that when you look at the polls, that's not what voters are thinking about. Top of mind for them right now is the economy and inflation. And John, that wasn't much of what the President Biden focused on last night.
Some suggesting the U.S. president made a major miscalculation in focusing on what he did, and with the polls suggesting Republicans poised to make big gains at those midterms, potentially winning control over Congress. This could really hamstring him going forward for the next 2 years. So how are the Republican leaders reacting to Biden's speech?
Well, they were on Twitter last night really saying that he missed the mark with this messaging. One of the ones that was tweeting, of course, was House Republican leader Kevin McCarthy. And here's what he said. This was a message directly to Biden. You refuse to address Americans' top concerns. Why? Because your policies and inept administration have failed our nation. He went on to say that Republicans are essentially going to win next week. And then we also saw Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell tweeting, and he wrote, President Biden is desperate to change the subject from inflation, crime, and open borders. Now he's claiming that democracy only works if his party wins. So right now that we have to see what message actually resonates with the voters. Again, this is the midterms are going to determine who controls Congress, and is the message about democracy the one that voters are going to listen to, or is it some of the other issues that voters have indicated they're concerned about this time around?
Thanks, Magda. Magda Gabrisalasa, live in Washington.